A very good morning BBA SEM students. Welcome to the 22nd session of Fundamentals of Management. Let's start our session with the thought of the day. Organizing ahead of time makes the work more enjoyable. Yes, it's true, students. When you organize the things ahead of time, before time, if you do it in an orderly manner, you can enjoy your work without any difficulty, without any problems, without any deviation. And that is the importance of timeliness. That is the importance of organizing. Organizing is very important, but it is more important when it is done ahead of time, before the time, where you can enjoy all your work in a disciplined and ordered manner. Yes, students, continue with the organizing function. Unit 3 I have started in the last few sessions. Today I'll be discussing the last topic of this particular function, part 1 of Unit 3, that is types of organization structures. From the next session onwards, I'll be discussing staffing function. Today I'll be discussing types of organization structures. Now you all know, students, that organizing is a process through which the organization structure is created. So an organization structure that gives foundation to the organization, because through the chart or design or a structure you can view the organization as a whole, because the chart depicts, organization chart is a pictorial representation of authorities and responsibilities and different levels of management. So organization chart shows who is working under whom, who are at the top level, who are at the middle level, and who are at the lower level. So an organization structure, which is a set of rules, roles of different employees, job post, relationships and responsibilities, that who are your colleague and who are your boss, who are working under you. So that defines the relationships, formal relationships between employees, and responsibility that determine how a company's activity should be directed to achieve its goal. So responsibility, jawabdariyo, students, that determine how company's activity should be directed to achieve its goals, because depending on the responsibilities and the amount of the authority that the employee have, accordingly they need to discharge all responsibility and they need to work done to achieve the objectives. And that is the role of organization structure. As students, organization structure also governs the flow of information through the levels of the company, because at the top level, when the person are appointed, when at the top level they have a maximum authority and maximum flow of information. So the information flow from top to bottom and outlines the reporting relationships among middle level staff, senior management executives and owners. So depends on the hierarchy in which the employees are posted. It is very effectively a hierarchy for a company that one need to follow, that whether they are at the lower level, whether they are at the middle level, or whether they are at the top level. So that flow of information, level of information that can be defined, that can be governed through the structure. If you are at the same level, horizontal line, you are enjoying the same flow of information at the other departmental heads. If you are at the top level, you have more information than the other employees. So at which level the employees are there, accordingly the structure maintain the flow of information. So structure guides, regulate the flow of information from top to bottom. Students, an organizational structure determines how information, responsibilities and approval will flow within your company, because the structure determines the responsibilities and authorities. Depending on the amount of the authority one has at his or her post, depending on that, the amount of authority, he or she will approve or not approve certain things. As the person have authority, સત્તા ને જવાબદારી ક્યાં કેટલી છે સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ એ સ્ટ્રક્ચર ઉપરથી ખબર પડે. તમે ટોપ લેવલ ઉપર છો તો તમારી પાસે મેક્સિમમ સત્તા છે, તમે અમુક વસ્તુ અપ્રૂવ કરો ન કરો. ટોપ લેવલ ઉપર બોર્ડ ઓફ ડિરેક્ટર્સ હોય, મેનેજિંગ ડિરેક્ટર્સ હોય, જનરલ મેનેજર્સ હોય, એની પાસે ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન રિલેટેડ મેક્સિમમ સત્તા હોય, ડાયવર્સ જવાબદારીઓ હોય, તો એ પ્રમાણે એ અપ્રુવલ આપી શકે. અમુક લેવલથી અપ્રુવલ ઓથોરિટી લોઅર લેવલ કે મિડલ લેવલ ન આપી શકે, તો કયા લેવલ ઉપર કઈ જોબ પોસ્ટ ઉપર કોની કેટલી જવાબદારી છે અને સત્તા છે સ્ટ્રક્ચર ઉપરથી ખબર પડે. And that's why organization structure provides the foundation to management, and depending on that structure is creating organization structure, defining the roles and responsibilities of the employee, structure chart which is very important to be designed properly. There are different types of organization structure, students, as you already studied in a 12th standard, each of which is either centralized or decentralized in terms of who has the power. તમે ભણી ગયા છો સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ 12th સ્ટાન્ડર્ડમાં, સ્ટ્રક્ચર કાં તો સેન્ટ્રલાઇઝડ હોય કાં તો ડિસેન્ટ્રલાઇઝ હોય, એટલે સત્તાનું કાં તો પૂરેપૂરું કેન્દ્રીકરણ હોય તો ટોપ લેવલના હાથમાં બધી જ સત્તા હોય, ખાલી રૂટીન રિસ્પોન્સિબિલિટીઝ ડેલિગેટ કરી દીધી હોય. ઓર અ સ્ટ્રક્ચર ડિસેન્ટ્રલાઇઝડ હોય એટલે સત્તાનું પૂરેપૂરું વિકેન્દ્રીકરણ, એટલે ડાઉન ટુ લેવલ સુધી ઓથોરિટીઝ ડિસ્પર્સ કરી દીધી હોય, ટ્રાન્સફર કરી દીધું, એટલે દરેક વ્યક્તિ પોતે પોતાની લિબર્ટી એન્જોય કરી શકે. સ્ટ્રક્ચર સેન્ટ્રલાઇઝ છે કે ડિસેન્ટ્રલાઇઝ છે, કોની પાસે કેટલો પાવર છે, that can be designed, that can be known through the organization structure. Each structure has advantages and disadvantages, students, depending on the nature and scale of organization. Yes, remember, depending on nature and scale of organization, the structure which is so chosen or structure which is so selected by organization, whether it is a small organization, medium scale or a large scale organization, depending on the number of operations that is conducted in the organization. જો કામ વધારે છે તો માણસો વધારે જોઈએ તો સ્ટ્રક્ચર થોડું ડાયવર્સ્ડ હોય. લાર્જ સ્કેલ ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનના સ્ટ્રક્ચર કેમ ફંક્શનલ કે પ્રોજેક્ટ એ સ્પેશલાઇઝ સ્ટ્રક્ચર જોવા મળે. નાના ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનમાં કામ ઓછું છે, માણસો ઓછા જોઈએ, તો એનું સ્ટ્રક્ચર મોટાભાગે સ્ટ્રેટ ફોરવર્ડ લાઇન ટાઈપ ઓફ સ્ટ્રક્ચર હોય. એટલે દરેક ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનના સ્ટ્રક્ચરના એડવાન્ટેજીસ અને ડિસએડવાન્ટેજીસ છે સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ, દેટ વન હેઝ ટુ કન્સિડર વેન દે આર ચોઝિંગ ધ સ્ટ્રક્ચર ફોર ધેર ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન. એન ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન સ્ટ્રક્ચર ફોર your business can help you make sense where and with whom your company's responsibilities lie. Your students, એ સ્ટ્રક્ચર ઉપરથી ખબર પડે કે ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનમાં રિસ્પોન્સિબિલિટીઝ ક્યાં કોની કેટલી છે, with whom your company's responsibilities lie, and you have plenty of types of from which to choose. દરેક ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન્સ, દરેક બિઝનેસમેનને plenty of types છે, depending on nature. ફરીવાર કહું છું સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ, depending on the nature and scale of the business, સ્ટ્રક્ચર વિચ ઇઝ સો સિલેક્ટેડ. ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનના ઓનર્સે નક્કી કરવાનું છે કે પાવર્સ બધો એની પાસે રાખવો છે તો સેન્ટ્રલાઇઝ સ્ટ્રક્ચર હોય, પાવર્સ ડિસ્પર્સ કરી દેવો છે તો ડિસેન્ટ્રલાઇઝ સ્ટ્રક્ચર હોય. જવાબદારીઓ કોને કેટલી સોંપવી છે, સત્તા કોને કેટલી સોંપવી છે એના આધારે સ્ટ્રક્ચર ડિસાઇડ થાય. ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન સ્ટ્રક્ચરના ઘણા બધા ટાઈપ્સ છે. Depending on requirement of the business, the structure which is so selected by the organization. Now students, there are different types of organization structures. You are seeing the list of the organization structure here that I'm going to discuss in this session. Now the first is line organization structure, staff or a functional organization structure, line and staff organization. These three are the traditional type of organization structures that you have studied in a 12th standard. તમે 12th standard માં આ બધા જ ટ્રેડિશનલ સ્ટ્રક્ચર ભણી ગયા છો સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ. લાઇન, functional, line and staff. Recent, and if we talk about the new type of the organization structure, modern theory of the organization that have committee organization structure, divisional organizational structure, project organization, matrix organization, hybrid, and one more that I've included in this presentation, and that is very recent, virtual organization structure. So I've covered almost all types of organization structure that even will be available in your book or not available in your book. You need to follow my lectures and you can get the idea of all of the types of organization structures. I'll be covering a few of the organization structure in this session and few I'll be covering in the next session. So types of organization structure according to the traditional theory, line and staff and functional. According to the modern theory of organization, it is committee, divisional, project, matrix, hybrid structure, or you can say virtual, next one level, virtual or a network organization structure. Now first, line organization structure. Students, a line has only a direct vertical relationship between different levels in the firm. જ્યારે કંપની નાની હોય, ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનો સ્મોલ સ્કેલ હોય, ઓપરેશન્સ ઓછા હોય, એમ્પ્લોઈઝ ઓછી જરૂરત પડે, તો મેજોરિટી દે ફોલો ધ ડિરેક્ટ ચેનલ. સેન્ટ્રલાઇઝ પાવર હોય, સત્તા મેક્સિમમ ટોપ લેવલના હાથમાં હોય, ને વર્ટિકલ રિલેશનશિપ્સ ઓનલી ટોપ ટુ બોટમ, હોરિઝોન્ટલ બહુ ડિસ્પર્સ કરવાની જરૂરત નથી. સો એટ દેટ ટાઈમ ધ કંપની ફોલો line organization structure. There are only line departments directly involved in accomplishing the primary goal. એટલે line department એટલે line vertical line માં જે major departments હોય, they are responsible for achieving the company goal of the organization, and this is very typical type of organization structure where line departments include main, કારણ કે મોટા ભાગે કંપનીનું બે જ મહત્ત્વના ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટ્સ હોય, પ્રોડક્શન અને માર્કેટિંગ, એટલે પ્રોડક્શન અને સેલિંગ. So they consider everything and they handle everything. So main two major departments they are covering in the line departments, and that is production and marketing. And the authorities follows the chain of command, line of command from top to bottom. As it has only direct vertical relationship between different levels in the firm, you will follow a strict straightforward line from top to bottom where authority flows in the line of command. So that is a line kind of organization structure. You can refer the internet or a book, you can get more about it, or as you have already learned in a 12th standard. On screen you are seeing the example of line organization structure where you will see departmental line organization structure. The authority flows from the top to bottom starting from the CEO, where departmental line, two main functions of the organization, that is production and marketing manager, they handle everything in a straightforward line. After the CEO, they have the maximum authority to manage the functions of the organization. Under a production, two foremen are there, fabrication and assembly, and under it workers are there. So from top to bottom in a strict straightforward direct line of command, chain of command is depicted where there is no specialization. Authority flows from top to bottom and ultimate authority is centralized, lying in the hands of the CEO. And this is simply a line kind of the structure. Even in a marketing department also, sales officers are there, product wise A, B, and under the sales officer, salespersons are appointed. So this is an example of line type of organization structure where the authority that flows from top to bottom in a direct straightforward line, no specialization, no other more departments, specialized departments is available, and the authority maximum is centralized, maximum power is in the hands of the top level. Fine. And this is a very simple, clear, direct and vertical flow of organization, and it is suitable in small organizations and mostly where employees are less, transactions are less, and this is a very much traditional type of the structure that what you have already studied. Now the next type of organization structure, which is a staff, or it is called as functional authority organization structure, where authority is defined in terms of different functions of the organization. An organization where staff departments have authority over line personnel in narrow areas of specialization. When students in organization, the transactions are more. When it is growing, small organization in growing in terms of more transactions or more task in numbers, they required the staff authority over the line authority to discharge authorities on a specialized basis, and so as to give a benefit of the specialization, the line is converted either in a line and staff or a functional organization structure. So that is when the specialization area is added, where staff authority, staff department over the line personnel is added into the structure, it becomes functional authority organization structure. Here in the functional authority organization structure, students, the jobs or a position in an organization, then they can be categorized in two way. ફર્સ્ટ લાઇન પોઝિશન્સ, એ તો લાઇન સ્ટ્રક્ચરમાં જે પ્રમાણે હોય એમ લાઇન પોઝિશન ઉપર જે તે વ્યક્તિઓની જોબ પોસ્ટ ક્રિએટ કરેલી જ હોય. અ પોઝિશન ઇન દેટ direct enjoying chain of command, line of command, where they are at the top level or middle level or lower level, they are responsible for the achievement of the organizational goals. Now, apart from the line position, the staff position is created when the activity is becoming more, when the scale of operations are increasing. They require a staff, specialized staff who discharge responsibility and who give their expert advice. So a position is intended to provide expertise, advice and support for the line position, where line officers are overburdened. They cannot discharge responsibility and they cannot take care of certain responsibilities. So staff position, a specialized staff position is appointed, and they provide expert advice, support for the line positions, and that particular structure becomes the functional organization structure. Students, here the line officers or the managers have the direct authority, which is known as a line authority, that is to be exercised by them to achieve the goals. Whereas the staff officers who are appointed on a specialized basis, these staff officers or a manager have a staff authority, and that type of authority is only just giving advice and expert knowledge to line officers. So they cannot enjoy their power over the line officers, as line officers have ultimate authority, and this staff authority that they are enjoying to give a special expert advice, which is known as a functional authority. They are just appointed to assist the line officers, and on a specialized basis, whatever the function or a purpose for that they are appointed, they need to give advice accordingly, and that's why they are enjoying functional authority. On screen you are seeing the type or example of the functional authority organization structure. You can say the staff authority organization structure. Well, ultimate authority or top level managing director is there, and under the managing director, students, personnel, quality control, production, R&D and finance departmental heads are allocated. Now when the task of different departmental head is increased, when they are overburdened, they are appointed with expert advice and a specialized staff. So dotted line shows the staff authority. Here you are seeing line authority is indicated with a straight line, whereas the staff authority is indicated with the dotted lines. So these dotted lines indicating the staff authority, and they are helping hand to different departmental heads. Here suppose under director quality control, staff authority as GMQC is appointed, who is advising or giving their expert guidance to general manager production. Even the manager QC is appointed as a staff authority to give advice to the manager workers. Even QC engineer is appointed as a staff authority who will give the expert advice to foremen, and an inspectors as a staff authority who is helping the workers. So these people are appointed on a dotted lines as a staff authority. They enjoy their functional authority, whereas these all people, director personnel, director or a manager quality control and production, they are enjoying line authorities. They are line officers and they enjoy their line authority. So structure when become diverse or added with the staff authority, they become the functional authority organization structure. જ્યારે સ્મોલ સ્કેલ ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનમાં સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન્સ ઓપરેશન વધે, સ્કેલ ઓફ ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન એક્સપાન્ડ થાય, ત્યારે લાઇન ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન સ્ટ્રક્ચરમાં થોડા મોડિફિકેશન્સ કરી અને એ સ્ટ્રક્ચરને ડાઇવર્સ અને એક્સપર્ટાઇઝ બનાવવામાં આવે, એન્ડ દેટ બીકમ ધ ફંક્શનલ ઓર અ સ્ટાફ ઓથોરિટી સ્ટ્રક્ચર. Now students, the line officer in a functional authority structure or a managers have a direct authority, and that is known as line authority, that is to be exercised by them to achieve the organizational goals, whereas the staff officers or a manager have a staff authority, and that authority is only just to advise the line officers over the line. So, and that authority which is known as the functional authority, and they are just helping hand to line officers. So an organization where staff departments have authority over line personnel in a narrow areas of specialization, which is known as functional authority organizations. Narrow areas એટલા માટે સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ કે એને જે સ્ટાફ ઓથોરિટી તરીકે અપોઇન્ટ થયેલા છે એ સ્પેશલાઇઝેશન પર્પસ અથવા એ ફંક્શન પૂરતું જ એને એડવાઇઝ અને એક્સપર્ટાઇઝ નોલેજ આપવાનું છે અને લાઇન ઓફિસર્સને હેલ્પ કરવાની છે. દે ડોન્ટ હેવ ટુ ડિસ્ચાર્જ અધર રિસ્પોન્સિબિલિટીઝ. So in line organization, line managers cannot be experts in all the functions. જેમ કે પ્રોડક્શન હોય તો પ્રોડક્શન મેનેજર બધા જ બધા ફંક્શનમાં સ્પેશલાઇઝ ન હોય. હી ઇઝ ઓવરબર્ડન. ક્વોલિટી કંટ્રોલ, ઇન્સ્પેક્શન્સ, વર્કર્સને હેન્ડલ કરવા, બધું જ બધા જ ટાઈપના વર્ક માટેની પાસે એક્સપર્ટાઇઝ નોલેજ હોય. સો વેન હી ઇઝ ઓવરબર્ડન, functional authority organization structure is created. Staff personnel is appointed which is a specialist in their own field, and they'll give advice, expertise, knowledge to the line officers. To reduce the burden of the line officers, staff specialist is appointed. So the right of staff specialist to issue orders in their own names in designated areas. The line organization and the staff organizations have their own advantages and disadvantages, students, that you can refer from the books. Just only I am explaining the concepts of the organization structure and the examples of the structure. So it may happen that there is a conflict between the line and staff authority, but in terms of making or creating the more specialized structure, staff authority is created to reduce the burden of line officers. So that is a functional authority organization structure which is more specialized than the line organization structure. So in a functional authority organization structure, the organization can get the benefit of specialization. Now students, here when you talk about this type of the organization structure where unity of command is violated, principle of Fayol, that is unity of command, જેને તમે ગુજરાતીમાં હુકમની એક વાક્યતા કહો છો, એ અહીંયા વાયોલેટ થાય સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ, because the workers and the subordinates who are working under two bosses, functional authority exists where workers or a group of workers may have to receive instructions and orders from line supervisors also, as well as from the staff specialist also. So which may result in confusion and conflicting orders from multiple sources and may lead to increase in effectiveness. A motto disadvantage a structure type no છે students, where unity of command is violated, કારણ કે workers અને subordinates ને line અને staff બંને સુપિરિયર્સ પાસેથી ઓર્ડર્સ મળે અને ક્યારેક એ કન્ફ્યુઝ થઈ જાય અને કોન્ફ્લિક્ટ્સ થાય ઓર્ડર્સમાં. સો દેટ ઇઝ અ ડિસએડવાન્ટેજ ઓફ ધીસ ટાઈપ ઓફ ધી ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન સ્ટ્રક્ચર. એન્ડ સર્ટન ટાઈમ ઇટ મે હેપન દેટ સમ સ્ટાફ સ્પેશિયાલિસ્ટ મે એક્સર્ટ ડિરેક્ટ ઓથોરિટી ઓવર ધ લાઇન. ઘણી વખત સ્ટાફ સ્પેશિયાલિસ્ટ પાસે એટલું બધું નોલેજ અને એક્સપર્ટાઇઝ હોય, લાઇન પર્સોનેલ કરતાં પણ એની પાસે વધારે ઓથોરિટી અને સત્તા હોય. and they enjoy their expert advice authority, and at that time that create a conflict between the two personnels. So say for example આપણે આ સ્ટ્રક્ચરની વાત કરીએ તો ક્વોલિટી કંટ્રોલ ઇન્સ્પેક્ટર છે may have a direct control over the workers and they advise in their own manner, and sometimes the worker need to follow the staff specialist comparison to the line specialists. So this is a disadvantage of this type of the structure, students, where unity of command is violated in a functional authority organization structure. Now we'll move towards the third type of organization structure in the traditional theory of the organization, that is a line and staff organization structure. Most of the large scale organization, they belongs to this type of the organization structure, where organization have direct vertical relationship between different levels, and specialist is also responsible for advising and assisting line managers. So these kind of the organization have both line and staff departments. So staff departments provide line people with advice and assistance in specialized area. For example, quality control manager che, they advise production manager or a production department. Inspector hoy, they advise the production department. So line functions are production and marketing, main two functions, whereas the staff function include personnel like quality control, research and development, finance and accounting. So when organization scale is increasing, again the line and staff organization is extended, where the organization can get the benefit of specialization. Here also two types where vertical relationships flows, which have line officers as well as the staff officers. So the staff authority or a functional authority organization structure is replaced by staff responsibilities, and so that here also the principle of unity of command is violated. Fine. But once the staff authority is appointed on a permanent basis, which will be replaced by the staff responsibility, unity of command principle is not violated, and permanently they are enjoying their own authority. Now if we look at this type of the structure, students, three types of specialized staff can be identified. One who is for advising, another one who is for providing service, and the third one is for maintaining control in the organization. So staff performs only one of these functions, but some may perform two or all three functions when they are appointed as a staff authority. Advice भी આપી શકે, अलग अलग services discharge કરી શકે, અને એમ્પ્લોઈઝ ઉપર કંટ્રોલ પણ રાખી શકે, ઓપરેશન્સ ઉપર કંટ્રોલ પણ રાખી શકે. સો ધ પ્રાઇમરી એડવાન્ટેજ ઇઝ ધ યુઝ ઓફ એક્સપર્ટાઇઝ ઓર સ્ટાફ સ્પેશિયાલિસ્ટ બાય ધ લાઇન પર્સોનેલ, and the span of control of a line managers can be increased because they are relieved of many functions which the staff people perform to assist the line officers. Naturally, કારણ કે લાઇન ઓફિસર્સનું બર્ડન વધી જ જાય સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ, કારણ કે એને લાઇન ઓફિસર્સે ડિરેક્ટ એમ્પ્લોઈઝને મેનેજ કરવાના છે, અને એનામાં જે સ્ટાફ ઓથોરિટી અપોઇન્ટ થાય એને પણ એને મેનેજ કરવાના છે. ઓન સ્ક્રીન યુ આર સીઈંગ ધ એક્ઝામ્પલ ઓફ લાઇન એન્ડ સ્ટાફ ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશન સ્ટ્રક્ચર, સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ, in a pictorial way. Ultimate CMD, Chief Managing Director, is appointed, where under the Chief Managing Directors, Director HR, Director QC, Director Marketing, Production, R&D and Finance is appointed. Here also you are seeing the straight line which shows the line authority, whereas dotted line which will be shown as the staff authority. Now here the staff authority is appointed permanently, as they are having a staff responsibility where unity of command is not violated, and they give their expert advice and helping the different departments directors. Suppose, say for example, general manager personnel is appointed as a staff responsibility on a permanent position. They will be helping also director HR, and they will be helping also general manager manufacturing. Even manager personnel is there. Personnel officers is appointed, who will give their advice to director HR, who is appointed under the director HR, and also advising and helping finance manager and supervisors. Even personal assistance is there, who is advising workers. Fine. So line and staff authority, and this type of organization structure which is more specialized, which is the extended version of the line organization, and here unity of command is not violated, so there is less confusion and chaos and disorder in the organizations. Even students, this type of the structure which is having advantage of both specialized structure, that is functional organization, and removing disadvantage of the line organization, and that's why it is mostly suitable in large scale organization, line and staff type of the organization structure, which is mostly suitable in large scale organization, because it will give benefit of both specialization as well as it will give benefit of even maintaining order and discipline in the organization. So this is the line and staff type of organization structure, mostly suitable in large scale organizations. I'm ending the session, students. We'll be discussing other type of organization structure, which is a modern type of the organization structure, in the another session. Till then, thank you, good luck, goodbye.